Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a good Sunday. It's July 5th. I hope you guys had a good July 4th yesterday. I did. Yes, so yesterday I spent a lot of time making these new map keys. I made a bunch of map keys. And so we're going to be using those. We're not using AWEPs anymore to make our outlooks. We're going to be using this map key that I made yesterday. I made a bunch of them for like day 4 to 8 outlooks, wind and hail probabilities, and tornado threat probability. And so we're going to be using those. But I did make 2 of these for today's YouTube video. It did take a while. So please subscribe for that. But let's get started here. So this is my day 1 outlook for today, Sunday, July 5th. This is mine. Keep in mind, I have my YouTube channel logo right there. Not really a logo. It's just my it's just the YouTube channel's name, I guess, in letters. Not really the whole thing. But I do have a slight risk in areas of eastern North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota, areas of central South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, northwestern Nebraska. I do have that slight risk, and I also have a marginal risk going down all the way into the Texas Panhandle, right there, and all the way up to Minnesota. Now our main threat area today is of course going to be our slight risk right here. It's in the northern plains like we normally see in July. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing kind of a mixed storm mode today. Maybe probably some supercells, and we're likely going to have some MCS, or we're going to have an MCS. And then in Northeast today, I do have a marginal risk for areas of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts. I do have that marginal, like I said. And keep in mind, this is my day 1 outlook for today. So I had those 2 threat areas, the one in the plains and the one in the Northeast. So we're going to be talking about this today, about what's going to be going on severe. We're going to look at all the ingredients later in the YouTube video. But first, we're going to look at the day 2 outlook for tomorrow. This is my day 2 outlook for Monday, July 6th. I do have a slight risk in southeastern Montana to northwestern South Dakota and southwestern North Dakota. It looks like we're likely going to be seeing it start off as supercells in Montana, and then it's going to turn into an MCS. But that's what it's saying right now. That's what I'm thinking. We normally see that happen a lot in July. But we'll have to see. We'll have another YouTube video tomorrow. I'll make another outlook and stuff. But we do have a marginal also from South Dakota up through Wyoming into Montana, like that. A pretty small threat area tomorrow with not a lot of people in it. Because it is the northern plains and not a whole lot of people live here. There's really no big cities in this. Rapid City, you're in the marginal. But there's really no large cities in this, like Minneapolis or anything like that. And I have been considering a marginal maybe added for areas of the southeast, because there's going to be a low pressure system tracking over there, and there's enough CAPE and there's enough severe weather ingredients to support some marginal storms. Nothing that's going to call for a slight risk or anything, but I think there could be a few severe storms or isolated severe storms in the southeast tomorrow. So I'll probably add a marginal in on day 1. We'll have to see though. But let's look at these severe weather ingredients for today. So this is our dew points this afternoon. We have dews in the 70s going all the way up to the Canadian border right there. In our slight risk area, have widespread dews in the lower or mid to upper 60s, around 70 in the northern parts up here. But as you go into Wyoming, we only have dews in the 50s. But that can still support severe weather, especially in the high plains. We have dews of around almost 60, which is pretty good for eastern Wyoming. We do have enough moisture today. Northwestern Nebraska. Earlier in the day, dews are kind of the NAM model is showing them being only in the 40s in some areas. So that could prohibit development. But as we go later, we see dews do get up to maybe around 60. Yes, now let's look at some of the other severe weather ingredients. This is mixed layer CAPE for this afternoon. We have really good CAPE in our slight risk area. In this area, it's kind of our slight risk. We have CAPE of around 4,000 in some areas of northern South Dakota. This is the area I'm considering for an enhanced risk, probably this area. I'm probably not going to do it, though. But You can see we definitely have plenty of Cape today. Cape of around 2,000 to 3,000 or 1,000 to 3,000 generally. And then we go later tonight. We see it kind of fizzles out. You can see the storms are going to release an outflow boundary. You can see it right there. And so the Cape is going to pretty much be wiped out in this area. And then there's still going to be some Cape left over in Minnesota. That area, you can see we still have Cape of 3,000 overnight. And that eventually fizzles out. And we can see tomorrow. Tomorrow's event, which we're going to talk about in tomorrow's video. Now let's move on. Let's look at surface-based LCL height. Now I do like to look at this. Alright, pivotal letter is going to have that ad pop up. Let's X out of that. Alright, so let's move out for 21Z. This is kind of helpful because if we have LCL heights of greater than 1,500, the tornado threat's already pretty low from that because that means the storms are going to be kind of high base, or definitely high base. But we see, as we go later tonight, we're going to have definitely northwestern Nebraska. It's going to be really hard to get any tornadoes. Look at this, 2,700 in that area. But in some areas in northwestern Nebraska, we could get the outflow boundary to help produce them. It could knock down the LCL heights, make the storm a little bit more surface-based. So the tornado probabilities are definitely lower in Nebraska. I think the biggest tornado threat's probably in central South Dakota to a little bit of North Dakota, kind of in that area. LCL heights are around 800. Earlier in the day, storms are going to be if they start off supercellular, where we're going to want to look for tornadoes if this actually pans out is we want to look at this area here. LCL heights are only around 1,000. But if they start off, if we get a supercell to go off in South Dakota, it's going to be hard to get the storm to become surface-based at the LCL heights. So it's likely going to be elevated and not be able to produce a tornado. But we could still see one down there, but it's just not as likely, I guess, as in North Dakota and just a little bit of South Dakota, or as in South Dakota, a little bit of North Dakota. Now let's look at the lifted index. All right. So I can already expect we're going to have plenty of lift this afternoon, and yeah, we have lift in South Dakota of -13. That's really good. Now let's look at bulk shear, 0 to 6 kilometer. Now, so this afternoon we do have some decent bulk shear in some areas. So we have decent bulk shear kind of in this area. And so if we do get a storm that goes off and it's kind of high base, it could work at that. And it could produce a tornado. It's definitely lower. It's a lower chance here than it is in this area up here. Because up here in South Dakota, the border of South Dakota and North Dakota, we have a shear of 50 to 60 knots in some pretty small pockets. And then we have the big. If this came earlier in the day, this wave right here, we could be seeing a tornado event. We could be seeing some more. We could be seeing a bigger tornado probability, maybe even a 5% issue from the SBC, like yesterday. But it's going a little. It's coming later. Oh, no, it's like a storm relative velocity here. All right, storm relative velocity. Let's see what we got. All right, so this afternoon we don't have a whole lot of velocity. We do have pockets of 200, maybe even 300 in my slight risk area, right here. And we do have almost 200 in a good area of eastern North Dakota, northeastern South Dakota, and western Minnesota. We do have 300 in areas of South Dakota right there. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Like I said, the storms are likely going to start off high base in this area, but they do have a slight chance of actually becoming surface based. But if they do, they have some of the better ingredients for tornadoes, it seems. But storms up here still have some good ingredients. Sounding, we're going to look at soundings in a second, but there's some good ingredients up there. It's just they're not the best. They're not as good as down here in western South Dakota. Or southwestern, I guess. Now we're not going to look at supercomposite, but let's take some soundings here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to 1 kilometer reflectivity with Precip type, and we're going to try and get some good soundings in front of these storms. So let's go out. Let's close it with the ad. This is inappropriate. So you can see this is what's forecasted to happen. Let's take some soundings. So let's get a sounding from the northeastern. The severe sounding, 91 degree temperature, 72 dew point. That's pretty good. Cape is parcel. This is pretty good cape though. Look at that. We do have some turning, as you guys can see here. Look at that. We do have some turning. Winds at around 850 millibars are out of the southwest, and now at 1,000 are kind of out of the southwest also. But it is a little slight turning right there. Elapse rates are pretty good. Shear is really good. Not really good. Sorry, it's okay. It's not the best. Shear is not the best, but it's there. So this isn't a terrible sounding. It's a severe sounding. It's not terrible. Now let's move back down here to southwestern South Dakota. Marginal severe. That dew point, though, could be an issue. That kind of looks not the best. It's not capped at all, though, which is good. That's good. Shear, we have almost none. That looks terrible, shear profile. Now let's move further north. Let's take a sounding here in central South Dakota. Severe sounding, 97 temperature. It's not capped. Surface based cape is 3,000, but ML cape is 2,495, which is good. Shear is terrible. So this is not a good sounding. This is not what I want to see. It's a good sounding for severe storms, but it's not a good sounding for tornadic storms. Let's move to 00Z and see what we can get in northwestern Minnesota. Marginal torr sounding, all right, not bad. 83-degree temperature. It looks slightly capped, but it's going to be easy with those good lapse rates and lifted index. It should be able to break the cap easily. Now shear of this is pretty poor, but it's there. It's not good though. There's not really. There's some directional shear. There's shear there, so it is a marginal torr sounding. And let's take some other soundings. Let's take one from right here. Marginal severe. That's capped for sure. That's right in front of the storm though, so it's kind of hard to tell. Or it's right kind of on the storm. All right, here we go. You could use this 68. That's very capped though. That's after dark. All right, so let's move down into eastern Wyoming. See if we can get one. None. That's not what I want to see. That's very high base. Not that. The LCL height is ML is 2,281. So that's the storms down there are likely going to be high base in this area. So what we're going to be seeing high base storms likely in this area, lower storms likely in this area, more low base storms. But the better ingredients are in this area the best, it seems like, for tornadoes. So we're going to have to see what's actually going to happen. Now we're going to move on to the tropics. All right, so we're going to have a little tropical update. Right now we have a tropical depression. Kind of by Bermuda, 35 mile per hour sustained winds, 1,008 millibars. Let's click on it. The cone, it's forecasted to become a tropical storm by pretty much this afternoon from the National Hurricane Center. It's pretty much forecasted to stay that way, not really affecting anybody in the U.S. So not really going to be a big deal. Now this is not a big deal. In the next 5 days, the National Hurricane Center has given this area here a 30% chance of development. And in the next 48 hours, it has a 10% chance of development. You can see it right there in areas, kind of goes across Florida and goes up the east. So that could be an issue. Yeah, that'll wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I'll be posting again tomorrow of more of my outlooks. And yes, peace out.